Hi guys, welcome to another audio video, and I'll be reading 2 Kings 16 of the King James Version Bible, and it reads, "In the 17th year of Pekah, the son of Remaliah, Ahaz, the son of Jotham, king of Judah, began to reign. 20 years old was Ahaz when he began to reign, and reigned 16 years in Jerusalem, and did not that which was right in the sight of the Lord his God, like David his father. But he walked in the way of the kings of Israel, yea, and made his son to pass through the fire according to the abominations of the heathen whom the Lord cast out from before the children of Israel. And he sacrificed and burnt incense in the high places and on the hills and under every green tree. Then Rezin, king of Syria, and Pekah, son of Remaliah, king of Israel, came up to Jerusalem to war, and they besieged Ahaz, but could not overcome him. At that time Rezin, king of Syria, recovered Elath to Syria, and drave the Jews from Elath, and the Syrians came to Elath and dwelt there unto this day. So Ahaz sent messengers to Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, saying, I am thy servant and thy son. Come up and save me out of the hand of the king of Syria, and out of the hand of the king of Israel, which rise up against me. And Ahaz took the silver and gold that was found in the house of the Lord, and in the treasures of the king's house, and sent it for a present to the king of Assyria. And the king of Assyria hearkened unto him, for the king of Assyria went up against Damascus, and took it, and carried the people of it captive to Kir, and slew Rezin. And King Ahaz went to Damascus to meet Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, and saw an altar that was at Damascus. And King Ahaz sent to Urijah the priest the fashion of the altar, and the pattern of it, according to all the workmanship thereof. And Urijah the priest built an altar according to all that King Ahaz had sent from Damascus. So Urijah the priest made it against King Ahaz came from Damascus. And when the king was come from Damascus, the king saw the altar, and the king approached to the altar and offered thereon. And he burnt his burnt offering and his meat offering, and poured his drink offering, and sprinkled the blood of his peace offerings upon the altar. And he brought also the brazen altar, which was before the Lord, from the forefront of the house, from between the altar and the house of the Lord, and put it on the north side of the altar. And King Ahaz commanded Urijah the priest, saying, Upon the great altar burn the morning burnt offering, and the evening meat offering, and the king's burnt sacrifice, and his meat offering, with the burnt offering of all the people of the land, and their meat offering, and their drink offerings, and sprinkle upon it all the blood of the burnt offering, and all the blood of the sacrifice. And the brazen altar shall be for me to inquire by. Thus did Urijah the priest, according to all that King Ahaz commanded. And King Ahaz cut off the borders of the bases, and removed the laver from off them, and took down the sea from off the brazen oxen that were under it, and put it upon a pavement of stones. And the covert for the Sabbath that they had built in the house, and the king's entry without, turned he from the house of the Lord for the king of Assyria. Now the rest of the acts of Ahaz, which he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And Ahaz slept with his fathers, and was buried with his fathers in the city of David. And Hezekiah, his son, reigned in his stead. Alright guys, so we see here where Ahaz, which was indeed a son of David, from the lineage of David, okay, and he was basically of Judah. He was the king of Judah. He had strayed from the way of the Lord. He decided that he would actually worship these false gods, and he offered up sacrifices unto them. But something of note I wanted to realize, because even though he was taken from the house of the Lord and given to someone who he knows to be a worshipper of false god, like he was at that point in time, need I say, right? What happened was that even though the king of Syria and the king of Israel at that time came to war against him and they besieged the city, meaning they came and they basically encamped around the city and tried to enter in by force, right? They tried to take the city. They tried to take his nation from him, his kingdom from him. Even though they tried to do that, they did not overcome him. And you want to know why they did not overcome him? Because of the favor of David that remained with him and resided with him, because of all that the Lord had actually promised to David, his servant, that he would actually let a light from him always shine through his son Solomon. It was Solomon that he had made that covenant with, and he kept it still. He had told it to David, and he said it with Solomon also, and he keeps to his word. He keeps to his word, and his favor was with him, that even though Syria and Israel came against him, and even though he was basically an idol worshiper at that point in time, the favor of his forefather still remained with him. And I've said this many times before, that the favor that you build, that you accumulate for yourself, will pass on to your children and to your generations to come. And also any ill will that you did, any sins that you committed, will be passed on to them also. And so we ought to be very conscious of the choices that we make. We need to ensure that we reevaluate every decision that we make, so that we will actually gain favor for our future generations to come, because they will need it. We're in a time that is consumed by sin, by greed, by envy, by malicious acts. These are the things that we are facing at this point in time, and it will only get worse, because as the Bible predicts and as the Bible actually proclaims, these things will come to pass. They've been prophesied, and everything that has been prophesied and every prophecy that has been given in the Bible, they've come to pass. We see time and time again, the Lord's words will not return to him void. And so accumulate all the favor you can accumulate with the Lord. And how do you accumulate that favor? By remaining faithful to him, by following him, by living according to his words and to his ordinances set out to us. And with that, I will leave you. Just think on that. Think on that every time you think to make a decision and you look on the outcome and impact. Remember to reassess and make the correct choice. A choice that will be favorable, that will gain favor in the sight of the Lord for you, that will pass on to your children to come, because they will need it. Okay, guys, continue walking in your salvation. And if you've not yet gained it, then seek it. There's no better time to begin than the present. And guys, please remember to share your thoughts, your comments, and your revelations. Each one teaches one. I know you all must have heard that saying at some point in time, if you're a Jamaican. I do not know about the rest, okay? But each one teaches one. So let us all help each other to gain a deeper appreciation for God and the things of God. Have yourselves a blessed day. Bye.